Okay, very good. Okay, let's go now to this part. Read the word of English, then underline 6 more examples in the text. When object is the same as the subject, use one of these 8 reflexive pronouns. Self or selves, for example. Be careful, you're going to cut yourself. Okay, we here they mention the reflexive pronouns that we use in order to say that something is done by the subject, by the same person. For example, I can say, I did my homework by myself, right? So that means nobody helping me. I did alone, right? Or we can say also, we have to help ourselves, right? So that means that we don't need to wait for the help of anybody. So we have to dwell on that. Okay, so, but in any case, we will go directly to this part. Even though here we have some common mistakes when we want to mention, for example, talking about the mirror, he looked at himself in the mirror, right? When we talk about himself, we are mentioning that this person does the action, and the action is like to say is reflected by them, by himself in this case, right? So we are talking about the same person. Estamos hablando de la misma persona que hace la acción y recae en la misma la acción, right? Something that we do alone, algo que hacemos solos, que no necesitamos la ayuda de nadie, ¿ok? Generalmente los reflexivos nos ayudan a enfatizar eso. But we will go to this part. Here we have complete the definitions with the underlined phrasal verbs from the article. Okay, so we will go back to the article. As you can see here, we have many underlined verbs, okay? The first verb, for example, is cut down, on, okay? Cut down, cut out. Okay, so here we have under phrasal verb, put on. What does it mean, put on in this case? Work out, take up, stick to. Okay, those are some phrasal verbs that we have to work with the definitions, okay? So here we have the definitions of these underlined verbs, as you can see. And here we have the definitions. For example, the first, reduce the amount of consumption. For example, I can say that lately I cut down on salt, let's say, right? So reduce the amount of consumption. Remove something from your diet. So that means that you quit something and you don't consume much more. Okay, do physical exercise, continue with a plan, gain weight, for example, start regular activity or hobby. Okay, these are really easy. For example, what is the phrasal verb that we can use for the first one, for the number one? What can we use?
Cut down.
Okay, cut down on, right? So there are,
Right.
okay, very good. Oh, what I did here. Okay, cut down on. Okay, very good. Next. What could be next? Next says, oh my goodness. Okay, number 2 says, remove something from your diet, for example.
Cut out.
Cut out. Yes, that's it. Cut out. Do physical exercise. This is really easy.
Work out.
Work out. Very good. Then we have continue with a plan. Continue with a plan.
Stick to.
Stick to. Yes, we can mention that. Gain weight. What about gain weight? Gain weight? Who can tell me?
Put on.
Put on. Yes, put on. Put on, you know that we use also in order to talk about the clothes that we wear. So we can say, I am going to put on my jacket, right? But also it is referred to the to gain weight. Okay, and finally, start a regular activity or hobby. What about that?
Take up.
Take up. Okay, so here we have I am also planning to take up a yoga next month. Yes, very good. Okay, take up is we use in order to express that we start a regular activity or a hobby. Okay, very good. Now let's go to this exercise. So you have to complete here by the use of these phrasal verbs. Okay, for example, here we have, do you worry about what? What verb can we use here? The phrasal verbs that we use in the previous exercise. Which of those one can you use? Do you worry about what? Cut down on, cut out, put on, stick to, take up. What can you use here?
Put on.
Put on. Do you worry about putting on weight? Okay, remember that when we use a verb after a preposition like about, for example, so we have to put that with ing, right? Putting on, okay? Because before this verb, we have a preposition that is about. And so when we have this kind of situations, we have to put ing to the verb. Okay, number 2. Do you prefer to at the gym or outdoors? What do we use there for completing?
Do you prefer to work out?
Yes, very
Work out?
good. To work out at the gym or outdoors, okay? Number 3, is there anything you think you should from your diet? Ouch. From your diet. I don't know what else. Completely. Okay,
Cut
so
out.
this cut out from your diet completely. Okay, very good. Number 4, have you ever tried to the amount of time you spend online? This is really easy. Have you ever tried to what? To cut down on the amount of time you spend online. Okay, and finally, when you make a decision, do you usually
Stick to?
stick to it? Okay, very good. Continue with the plan, right? Okay, very good. So here says that we have to answer, practice in pairs and following the questions. Okay. So here we have at this exercise, you are going to work in pairs, okay? So you are going to answer in pairs, but not, maybe not today because we won't have enough time, yes. And tomorrow we are going to retake this exercise. You have to answer, okay? You are going to work in pairs in this exercise. Let's go finally to this listening. And with this, we are going to finish. And then we are going to start with the test, oral test. Okay, here says, look at the photograph that you have here. Okay, look at the photo. And here says, what product is being advertised? Okay, you know that advertisement is to make, to publish something in order to attract people, right? No idea at all, maybe shampoo or something. What do you think is this product? What do you think is this product about? Maybe cream, makeup. I don't know, right? Okay, no opinions. Let's go to this one. Listen, watch to check and identify 4 words from 1A. Okay, we are going to watch a video and you are going to identify 4 words from 1A. So in this case, 1A is which one? From 1A, so from this one. Okay, wrinkles, dark circles around my eyes, all those parts, right? Okay, let's go with the video. So, okay.
Introducing the next revolution in beauty. Get ready to experience a whole new you. It's you, perfected. Say goodbye to fine lines and wrinkles and hello to full lips, sparkling eyes, and lashes that never end. And that's just the beginning. Transform your look the way celebrities do with this beauty industry secret that's now available for the first time ever. Introducing Photoshop by Adobe. Finally look the way you've always dreamed. The difference is clear. Just one application of Photoshop can give you results so dramatic, they're almost unrealistic.
Okay. One more time.
Introducing the next revolution in beauty. Get ready to experience a whole new you. It's you, perfected. Say goodbye to fine lines and wrinkles and hello to full lips, sparkling eyes, and lashes that never end. And that's just the beginning. Transform your look the way celebrities do with this beauty industry secret that's now available for the first time ever. Introducing Photoshop by Adobe. Finally look the way you've always dreamed. The difference is clear. Just one application of Photoshop can give you results so dramatic, they're almost unrealistic.
Okay, very good. What words can you mention? The words that you identify, for example, the words that you already know. No? Okay, let's go. So let's pass over to the exercise C. So here, what you have to do, you have to number these words in order you hear, okay? So they mention these ones like application, difference, dramatic, experience, finally, industry, results, and unrealistic. So you have to order which is mentioned first, which is mentioned second, and so on. Okay, let's listen once more.
Introducing the next revolution in beauty. Get ready to experience a whole new you. It's you, perfected. Say goodbye to fine lines and wrinkles and hello to full lips, sparkling eyes, and lashes that never end. And that's just the beginning. Transform your look the way celebrities do with this beauty industry secret that's now available for the first time ever. Introducing Photoshop by Adobe. Finally look the way you've always dreamed. The difference is clear. Just one application of Photoshop can give you results so dramatic, they're almost unrealistic.
Okay, the last time.
Introducing the next revolution in beauty. Get ready to experience a whole new you. It's you, perfected. Say goodbye to fine lines and wrinkles and hello to full lips, sparkling eyes, and lashes that never end. And that's just the beginning. Transform your look the way celebrities do with this beauty industry secret that's now available for the first time ever. Introducing Photoshop by Adobe. Finally look the way you've always dreamed. The difference is clear. Just one application of Photoshop can give you results so dramatic, they're almost unrealistic.
Okay, pretty good. Okay, let's check. So let's go to the book. Okay, so here, what is the first word mentioned? What is the first word mentioned?
Experience.
Okay, experience. Number 2.
Industry.
Industry. Number 3.
Difference.
Difference. Okay, number 4.
Application.
Okay, number 5.
Results.
Results, okay. Number 6 in this case. Six or seven? Seven, right? No, 6.
6. Dramatic.
Dramatic. Number 7.
Finally.
Finally. And finally, what was the last word? Unrealistic, right? Okay, appearance in small groups, disagree or agree. Appearance is the most important thing for celebrities. Good-looking people are usually more successful. Men are more obsessed with their looks than women. Okay, these questions will be, or these statements will be for the following exam, okay? So the next exam, the oral exam about this topic will be based on this statement. So you have to support these ideas. If you agree, you don't agree, what do you think? Why do you think, for example, appearance is the most important thing for celebrities, right? So here we have one example. I think talent is as important as appearance for celebrities. Okay, so we are going to develop this one for the next test. Okay, so now let's go to your exam. Okay, tomorrow we are going to talk about the gossips. And we are going to talk about modal perfects. Okay, so for tomorrow you have to check the modal verbs. Para mañana hay que revisar los verbos modales. That's important. Okay, and then yeah, this unit is based everything, or is focused everything on modal verbs and causative. This is very beautiful. I like so much causative. What else? Tag questions. The tag questions are very beautiful too. Tag question, causative, modal verbs. Okay, that is what we are going to develop tomorrow in this case. Okay, very good. Let's start. So, okay, who wants to start with the test?
Teacher, I could start?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay, good evening, teacher. Good evening, classmates. Can I start with a quote?
Yes.
Okay, my quote says something like this. The children know love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders and love charter in place of exercise. Children are no tyrants, not the servant of their households. They no longer rise when elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobbles, outdancings at the table, cross the legs, and tyrannize their teachers. Okay, maybe this is a controversial quote, but you know, this was said by Socrates. Well, we can say it was said by Platon, but this doesn't matter. So maybe you can think this was a quote from the book you say us to read or to search about, but this actually was from Socrates. So if Socrates said this ago from 2000 years ago, what do you think would be this current generation? I remember I read an article in the newspaper, a digital newspaper, obviously, that say the current generation is the only one with less IQ than its fathers. What means that scientifically we can say we are the dumbest generation. Personally, I think that's very stupid. Say that a generation is stupider than the before one is. And you know, adults always think they are intelligent, but to be honest, no matters that. If the last generation could say something, it's maybe we sorry, because are the generation that don't believe in the moon's light, like if they don't use Wi-Fi, don't believe in the global warming, and the current generation can't escape from that. Then the last generation thinking about smoke during your pregnancy could be your baby more intelligent. And yes, this was a real thing. that happened around the 60s. Was a big trouble when the people discovered that that was a lie. You should look the source in the internet. And I personally don't take when people say your father is more intelligent than us, because I think it's very annoying. But just that, yeah, they currently likes more being in the cell phone all day. But we can say the last one liked being in TV, and before that, books. Did you know there are actually many books that says books cause schizophrenic and another fever, for example, and they think that about books were a problem. So cell phone isn't a problem actually. In conclusion, newborns won't be stopped. There is no a dumbest generation just because they don't like kids or play outside. And really, these kind of books shouldn't exist. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, classmates.
Okay, very good argument. So Pablo Casal. Yeah, I agree with you because the generation develop different skills that sometimes people can adapt to that, or we cannot develop the same skills as our parents, and our parents don't have the same skill as us because the new generations, for example, they grow up with technology, and our parents should adapt to this technology, right? And we don't know many things that they did in order to solve whatever problem because we didn't live it on that type, right? So I think that is incorrect because we can see that nowadays babies, they are born with like they are more intelligent like the past babies, we can say, because we can see that they develop the IQ really fast. Okay, very good, Pablo. Okay, next, please. Who want to be the next? Pablo, you have to give your test, right?
My written test, can you send me it to the WhatsApp, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, who will be the next? Number 2. Nobody? Alberto Cava, maybe? Camila Lozano. Okay, let's go by list, okay? Angulo Marcela. Marcela. Okay, you are the first, Marcela. You can start. Marcela puede empezar. Usted es la primera de la lista. Okay, let's go with...
Teacher, siento que no estoy todavía lista.
And so, Betancourt Carlos is in class, yes, no?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Okay, you can start, so.
Okay, then, good evening, everyone. Okay, I'll talk about what I think about this book, The Dumbest Generation by Mark Barline. I found here on internet a little summary about, more than a summary, and like an opinion about this book. And well, after I read it, I have my own conclusion. I have little paragraphs of the author, so I'll read them and I'll give my opinion about that. First, it says, blame also the teachers, professors, writers, journalists, intellectuals, editors, librarians, curators, who will not insist on the value of knowledge and tradition, who will not judge cultural novelties by the high standards set by the past, who will not stand up to adolescents and announce, "It is time to put away childish things." They have let down the society that entrusts them to sustain intelligence and wisdom and beauty. And they have failed students who can't climb out of adolescence of their own. Okay, about this paragraph. I think it is true what he says about it is time to put away childish things. I don't know my classmates or even you, but I think our generation is really childish. It is really, it is not mature. I mean, the new generation, it's kind of a bunch of boys and girls, not like grown-ups. They are like big boys, just like that. And I think, um, um, wait a minute, I'll charge my battery, it's getting low.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. I was telling you, I think our generation is really childish. They are just like big boys and not like mature people. And what I think this, because I can see it in my environment. I mean, just look at the boys at my age of 22, 25, and 20. They are just so immature. They don't think about the future. They don't take things seriously. They think their world is just about them. And I think this of technology can make us like that because we are every time the time is going, we are turning more selfish with ourselves. We don't communicate with other people, and that makes our world really little, really small. So in that part, I think he's right. Now, the next paragraph says, a school district in Union City, California spent $37 million to purchase new digital tools for 11 schools and pay for it by cutting science equipment and field trips. The Kittredge Street Elementary School in Los Angeles dropped its music program in order to afford a technology manager. New Technology High School in Napa, California receives $300,000 from the U.S. Department of Education and $250 from the California Department of Education for its pioneering super wireless facilities. One of the school's slogan is, "It doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you show." And about this, I think it is good to be modern, to be with the technology and that kind of stuff, but I think it is wrong cut it out with cut out the field trips or the science equipment just for foreign technology manager. I think it is wrong because we need to have any connection with the world, with the true world, not with the digital world. This, well, this is just a thinking of mine. Now, I think the author has a point. I think it is not right to get so much into the technology. It is really bad. It make us, I don't know, it make us weird. It make us less sociable. It make us, I don't know, we lose the social skills. I don't know if this is like something invented or something that we have on our heads only. But I don't know if you see all those all those technicians, all the people who is dedicated in the machines. And it is a thing that you say when you see them, that they are so unsociable, they are so cold, they are so, I don't know, so weird. And I think it is because of this, because we need to be more with our environment, we need to be more with the people around us. And it is good, of course, with the technology, we can't just look behind and say the past times were better. But it is really true that the past times have things that are really better than now. And honestly, I appreciate more the past times, at least in the social part. I don't know about you. So in that case, I could say the actor has a point. It is not completely right. The new generation is not the best than before, but it is worse than before. And well, that's it.
Okay, very good, Betancourt. So you showed us the other side of what Pablo said, for example, in this case. And you are right when you said that maybe the new generation has been losing some values, for example, to live in family, to interact with people, even though they are really intelligent at the moment of using technology and all those things. Maybe they didn't develop the skills of living with people, communicating face to face, for example. So this new generation lose a lot about the values of expressing their feelings, expressing their love, because nowadays we can see, even though maybe, as you said, people is like they became colder than before, because in the past times, so we need to see the person in order to say happy birthday, for example. Nowadays you can write a message and send virtual gifts, and that's all, right? And it became really cold, maybe for, we can see that, we can feel that personality of these new generations, that make us realize how time, how the years changed, and in what way affected this or the development of technology to this new generation. And so I totally agree with you when you said
Yes.
that
And you
interaction between
see,
us lost.
it is really uncomfortable. For example, being in a party,
Mhm.
you make parties for so you can get fun, isn't it? And you have all your people there, and they are all with their cell phone. I mean, why the heck you get a meeting with them if you're gonna be with
Yeah.
your cell phone? Make a virtual meeting instead. And I don't know, at least for me, it's really uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
honestly, I hate that.
Yes, very good. Yeah, and something that we can see also is it's like to say the role of men and women and the respect to the other person. So I think that those values are getting lost, because I lived that kind of experience. For example, when I see at the school that the boys are not more gentlemen like the past generations, we can say.
Totally.
Yeah, so those things we can see now, right? And I totally agree with that part. Okay, very good, Betancourt. Okay, another person, any volunteer? Okay, give me a minute, please. I am going to charge my computer because it's about to die. Okay, who will continue, please? Then we have
Me,
to,
teacher.
okay, go on with Irika Sal. Okay, let's start.
Okay, I think this generation is better in some way than the previous one. And all previous generations turn out deefer to the problems have more content to study from before and take into account everything young people today are more concerned with social problems that have been silenced for years, such as racism or homophobia. And mm, and I think this generation isn't more dumb as others. Is but the others aren't dumbest as this generation. Mm, all these people are ignorant or have been in ignorance. Like they they um, they punish her their children with violence, with and this generation, for example, we sorry, dear.
Okay, that's all.
No,
Okay,
have-
continue.
I think we take into account the physiologist more, like the side of the emotional. We're learning to express our problems more, I think. Yeah, we're expressing things that other people will never do. Like in the past, social problems are really normal. And now we're trying to to talk about these problems. But that doesn't mean that we are not looking for an intelligent future. We're just seeing the things that before the society doesn't see. Like before, art was an work for poor people, but now the people understand that it's not like that. I think it's all, teacher.
Okay, I am here. I'm sorry. ED, my computer went off. Okay, do you have anything more to say, or that was all? ED?
That was all, teacher.
Okay. Okay, ED, yeah. Okay, so you try to mention the positive and the negative side of this generation and the past generations. And something that I agree with you is that the past generation, for example, our grandparents and our parents, they educate their children in a different way. So if they had to punish physically, so they did, right? Nowadays, no, that is, we cannot see that way of education because there are many laws for keeping the rights of children. so that we cannot punish them physically, right? We can punish them, but I don't know, with different ways, but not to harm them, right? So the education in the past generation was totally different. They had more authority, the parents and also the teachers. But nowadays they change it, maybe in a positive way, but also in a negative way, because our parents and the teachers lost a lot of authorities face to the students, face to the children, because it is a bit difficult to work in that way. Yeah, maybe that is not bad, but sometimes the lack of authority can interfere in the education of the new generations. Okay, very good. Let's continue, please, with the next one. The students who already presented, los estudiantes que ya dieron su examen oral, se pueden retirar si es que así lo desean, ok, no hay problema. Continuamos con los que aún nos falta. Okay, let's continue. So with Cava Alberto is in class. No? Caiguara Ana. Carvalho Luis Alberto.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay, you please.
Okay, The Dumbest Generation, it's a book written by Mark Bauerlein, and it was published in 2008. In this book, he addresses some alarming trends among youth in the American children. But there's something I want to check first, but because he gets his statistics of the NAAP, which is it's an organization which focuses mainly on literacy. I mean, what does literacy means? It means is the skill of the children for reading and writing, and it compares it from statistics from 2005, and it compares it back to 1992. So in this comparison, it can highly show what a degradation of the skill of the students. So, but I think this book it has a point, but I don't think it's entirely right, because there are a lot of things we have to consider in order why are the young Americans abandoning school or college, let's say, because the American children are really mean. There's a lot of bullying in the schools in America. There are a lot of shootings and a lot of problems within in that society. There are a lot of single mothers raising children, and you see the life in America is way harder than it is here. So there are both of their parents, they're working to jobs by day and night, and they don't have time to focus on the issues of their children. And in regards to college, in the United States, it's really hard to get in college, because if you don't have a scholarship, you're most likely gonna be in debt for your whole life, because that's a great issue there, because how do I say this? If you're willing to go to college, to a nice college, let's say in the United States, you will be in debt for life. And what if you don't find a job, or what if you don't find a decent job where you can afford to pay that debt back? Well, what will you do? And so in this technological era, I think a lot of people find a gateway. They can start some companies, some online jobs, and that's why I think they skip college. I don't think that's all the cases, because it's obvious that the intention for children to learn is not as high as it's supposed to be. but I don't think this is the dumbest generation because it's only comparing to a statistics from 1992. What about all of the other generations? It's just I think this book is targeted to people that really think about this, that feeling that they grew up in a traditional way and it was the best way, and it doesn't, if that doesn't represent that now. Okay, that's all.
Very good analysis, Luis Alberto. Okay, so you showed us other kind of opinion about this book and you analyze it deeply, right? The American lifestyle, we can say. Okay, very good. Let's continue with Kumandiri Nora. Okay, thank you so much, Alberto. Nora, are you there?
Teacher, ¿será que
Yes.
me puede dar una oportunidad para mañana, por favor, para dar mi examen?
How come? Mañana, so it's a bit difficult. Tendría que ser por menos porcentaje porque no sería justo para sus compañeros, ¿no? Ok, veremos algún otro horario porque en clase no voy a poder porque tengo que seguir con el avance, ok, porque esta clase estaba destinada a tomar el examen oral. Ok, sin embargo, como decía, tendría que ser por un menor porcentaje de nota. Ok, so let's continue with Farfán Rosemary. Rosemary is not in class, right? Creo que ella abandonó, ¿no? Ok, Gómez Regina. Let's go with you.
Good evening, teacher. Good evening, everyone. Abstract, the book, The Dumbest Generation. English teacher Mark Bauerlein is the author of this book. The publication date was my 2008, and it was named so because young Americans under the age of 30 neglect the art and reading that contributes to their education. The book describes that digital culture and technology of contributing to the education, encourage leisure young people give more priority to social networks and video games. The digital world and students their ability to interact socially. In addition to adolescents, they have become more aware of the cell phone, and with that attitude of not having control of themselves, and they put our future at risk. According to Professor Bauerlein, reading expands your vocabulary and makes you the protagonist of your own ideas. Helps you discover your own creativity. In my opinion, regarding the neglect of reading at present, it is true, and agree with Professor Bauerlein that we we are all aware of the cell phone. Personally, I use it for work and communication purpose and rarely for entertainment reasons, but people in general use it for leisure activities. Healthy is to communicate with people around you and that you know that he is listening to you. Reading is very important because it helps you you in your personal growth and helps you to meet your own criteria about our environment, social and our current situation. I consider that social networks are manipulation strategies of governments to control and distract us. This all, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, it's clear that you had investigated about what exactly was the book. Okay, very good, Regina, right? Okay, thank you so much. Let's go please with Lozano Camila. Is in class? No, right?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
Magne Camila.
Teacher?
Lozano, okay, you are there.
Yes.
Okay, start please.
Okay, The Thomas Generation was written by Mark Bowlin. He talks about American teenagers, more specifically that generation of teenagers are dumb. Many teenagers use phones or these devices from a young age. Since they grow up using the phone in an unproductive way, it's clear that they are going to play video games or use the phone without control or without stopping. Mark said that 9 out of 10 high school students spend more time on social media than doing their homework. What can I say to Mark? His book was published 13 years ago. At that time, the phones only had to make calls, the Worm game, probably Facebook. But what I would be most interested to know is that Mark thinks now that technology has evolved a lot, even more so with classes being virtual these last 2 years. We all had to use technological devices for more than 3 hours, and he complained about teenagers who used the phones for an hour a day. Many of us are smarter than other people think. Yes, teenagers make mistakes and get things done quickly, but next time they will instantly pick up on what's going on around them. Through music in whatever language they speak, they can learn from a word to a phrase in that language. Many learn to recognize bad attitudes through movies or accurate anecdotes. I talk a lot about the use of smart devices in teenagers because it's one of the things that Mark highlights. Teenagers and their uses of technology. I could not find much about the book, but I just want to say that people can be smarter than what it seems, or even have thought that we did not imagine. Yes, more and more generation advance. Who would imagine a 5 years old boy with wanting to record a video to upload, but somehow we learned to live like that, and I don't see a completely negative side. That's all, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much, Camila. Okay, many different perspectives. Okay, very good. Let's continue, please, with Magne Camila is in class. No, right? Mendez Abril. Mostajo Brandon. You are there.
Present, teacher.
Okay, go on.
Okay, if we are in the dumbest generation, I don't agree, first of all. But there's some points where I can agree if you're searching about. Like, what if we, well, in the youngest generations, we don't know things like the adults right now know, like politics, economic, what is left, what is right, what is democratic, what is Republican. I don't know. And maybe if you're compared to the oldest generations, every time they're going to say this or that, and every time we're going to lose. But if you take a time and think about it, we are improving. We're not stepping before the other generation. We are improving the generations through the time. If you take example, they every time say the youngest generation don't read, but what are we reading? What are you reading to improve your intellectual? Maybe you're reading 50 Shades of Grey. Maybe you're reading, I don't know, Twilight, and that's not going to improve your intellectual. That's not a good book, but you're saying we are not reading. Maybe we are reading in the internet, in the platforms we are having now. In YouTube are thousands and thousands of tutorials that if we search for, if we are looking for improve, we can do it. And maybe this generation don't want to improve, but there's people, of course, there's people for everything. There's people who are looking for improve, and there's other people who are not doing nothing. Maybe, yes, they are looking their cell phone every time in the day. Maybe they are just in Facebook, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, but there's people who are looking for improve, and they are improving their skills in programming and statistics, and I don't know. There's words I don't know in English right now, but they're improving, and of course, yes, they are looking for this data, and maybe their intellectual coefficients are improved. And there's people too who are saying, but you are the glass generation. You are hard for everything. And yes, I agree with that point, because there's this millennials generation, no? Like they are say, oh, you're homophobic, oh, you're fat phobic, oh, everything they heard for everything, and you're looking them on Twitter like they are angry for everything, saying everything every time. Just what a mess of time, I think. But they're and they say, the older generation, but to say, we haven't passed these tough times. where they are, when they have to work for their family or work for the situation they have to pass. But right now, I ask you, if you work, what are you looking for when you work? You are working for improve your economic situation, to have a house. Maybe you don't want your children have to work, and if you say something like this, oh, you hadn't work, you just doesn't have to pass the things I have to pass. Maybe we are doing great. We are improving. We are improving this situation because maybe in the past we have these tough times where the children have to work, where the sister have to take care of two children, where the oldest brother have to work with the construction. I don't know, but are we improving? I think yes. And that's all, teacher.
Okay, pretty good, Brandon. Okay, so excellent opinions too. Okay, let's continue with Perez Mariel.
Good evening, teacher.
Hello.
The Donbass generation is a direct report on the intellectual life of young adults and timely warning of its impact on American democracy and culture. For decades, concern has been brewing about the dumbed down popular culture available to young people, and the impact it has on their futures. But on the down of the digital age, okay, many times they saw an answer: the internet, email, blogs, and interactive and hyper-realistic video games promise to yield a generation of sharper, more aware, and intellectually sophisticated children. The terms information superhighway and knowledge economy enter the lexicon, and we assume that teens will use their knowledge and understanding of technology to set themselves apart as the vanguards of this new digital era. In my opinion of the book, the reason is no genetic use, but is due to a very environmental aspects such as certain change in teaching of the sacrifice of habits, as well as the improvement of technology.
Okay, thank you so much, Mariel. Very good. Okay, very good analysis too and personal opinion. Okay, finally, let's go with Juliana.
Yes, teacher. Okay. I'm going to a little more about the content of the book. This be a little short. Okay, the Donbass generation published in 2008 and writing by Mark Twain, who is a professor of English and at Emory University. Okay, the main feature of this book is how the digital age take control of the young people of young people by entering the future. In the book, the author talk of the teenagers, in the 20th century, and have same or if lower education level as teenagers 30 years ago. And the author also talk about how interested in digital and pop culture. And the teenagers are reading less book because they are more interested in digital. In conclusion, this book talk us of making young people has been making young people abuse technology and depend on it. And the author also explained that if young people follow this path, they will completely destroy their future. That's all, teacher.
Okay, very good, Juliana. Okay. Very clear what you said. Okay, my dear students, who is missing? No? Okay. Okay, my dear students, here we finish. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.
Goodbye, teacher.